All right, hello everybody. Welcome to no, it's not Oak Hollow Garage. This is Free Range Art Farm, but we are in the Oak Hollow Garage. So it's a winter edition. Today, I thought I would try to stay in frame. I have notes because otherwise I'll forget. So I'm just going to talk about some of the lessons learned from the 2021 beekeeping year, and then some of the things that we're planning to do here in the apiary on this channel. So hope you stick around and listen to what I've got to say. While I'm doing it, I'm going to try to keep you entertained slightly by putting together one of the things on my list that I'm going to do next year. So let's see if you can figure it out, or maybe I'll just tell you. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go to the other side of the table. Oh, one other thing. When you're in the Oak Hollow Garage, you got to have a beer. Like, that's the rule. So we're having a beer. All right, so lessons learned from last year. The first lesson I learned was swarm traps. They work, and sometimes they work really, really well. So I built three swarm traps, and I'll put a link to the video. Man, I can never remember. I'll put a link to the video there. It's a bit of a long video talking about just my thought processes of how to make a swarm trap and some of the things I'd learned just researching and what I did to build ours. I built three of them. I put one kind of near my house, one sort of in the middle of my property, and one at the very back of my property. Now I've got 10 acres and it's sort of rectangular shaped. So it was kind of sort of middle, 3/4, and at the end. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Doesn't really matter because I caught a swarm in every single one of them. And then I reset one of them, not even sure why, and I caught another swarm like a week later. So I caught four swarms. Four swarms. Which brings me to bee math. So this was my second year as a beekeeper, and my first year we had 2 hives, because everybody says start with 2 hives at least so you can compare and whatever. And it was good because I had one that wasn't doing as well as the other, and you can watch some of those videos. Look up the saga of the purple hive. And I lost them both over the winter because of mites. I treated, but I didn't test. So this year I tested, treated, treated, and then treated some more, and then treated again. So I still lost a colony to mites. That brings me to third lesson learned. So the first one, swarm traps work. Second one, bee math. Let me talk about bee math for a second. See how I get distracted? That's why we have notes. So as I started to say, we had 2 hives my first year, our first year of beekeeping. My plan was to have 2 hives this year. So when they were both dead, I got online and I found 2 nukes, or I found nukes that I could buy down in Scottsville, Virginia. I live in Warrenton, Virginia, which is sort of northern Virginia. Scottsville's a couple hours south. And so I ordered 2 nukes from them. And when we went down to pick them up, they were like, hey, we have extras. If you want more than just the 2 you ordered, feel free. So I turned to my wife and I was like, what do you think? Do you want to get a third one? She's like, yeah, let's get a third one. Why not? What's it going to hurt? So we got 3 nukes. And then my friend Kaylee from the Honeystead was also selling nukes. And we love her and we try to support her as much as we can. So I ordered 1 nuke from Kaylee, which we then picked up a couple weeks later. So now we had 4 hives, 4 colonies, so double what I was thinking. And then I caught 4 swarms. So I don't even want to do the math. Quadruple what I was thinking. I did the math anyway. So be careful of bee math, because then one of them was going to swarm, and I split that and wound up with 10 colonies for a short period. Now I think we're down to about 6 now, because I combined a couple at the end of the year, and then we lost one to mites, and we lost another one, I think, food stores. Okay, so swarm traps work, bee math, be careful of it. And the third thing I learned was catching a swarm is awesome. Like, free bees, that's the coolest thing. That's just the coolest thing. And we caught a swarm, literally caught them moving in on camera. And I'll link that to, that was a cool video. You should watch that. That was one of the coolest experiences of our lives, was hearing and being in the middle of this swarm of bees moving in. And just so cool. So catching a swarm, I highly recommend it. I built the swarm traps for about $15 and a little bit of time. The lumber I bought wound up making me 3 swarm traps, which is why I had 3. However, only having 2 hives last year to 10 this year, I learned very quickly, and I still didn't correct myself yet, to keep notes. I was losing track of who was doing well, who wasn't, who was queen right, who wasn't, how were the frames looking, who was healthy, who wasn't. It was just poor decisions on my part to not keep notes. So I'm promising myself to try to do better next year. And the 5th lesson learned from last year, and I've already kind of alluded to this a little bit, we lost one of our colonies to a mite infestation. I just could not get ahead of the mites. They were heavy when I tested. I treated with oxalic acid like you're supposed to. At the end of that regimen, they had a higher concentration of mites. I treated another round with them, and I believe they were yet again higher. So I called them my doomed hive, and I can link that video as well. I'm going to link a whole ton of videos to this. They died. I haven't done a mite check since, but I'm assuming it was mites. I won't guarantee that, but I'm assuming. So the 5th lesson learned was, when you catch a swarm, treat them for mites. It's the best time to treat them for mites, because if you catch them right away, within 5, 6, 7 days, I can't remember now off the top of my head, before they cap any brood, the oxalic acid will work tremendous. Like, no cappings, treat them, do a heavy treat, and just be done with it. So you can at least knock out any mites that they may have right off the bat. So those are my 5 lessons learned. Oh, good segue. What are we doing next season? So maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I thought it would be fun to try out the Ross Rounds super to see if we can get some comb honey. I don't know. Might be kind of fun. So I'm going to try to put these together while we're sitting here. And let's see, bottle opener, can you open a box? Sure. That'll do. This should be the super. Oh, it smells good. I love the smell of lumber. Does that make me weird? Okay. So a quick diversion with the Ross Rounds. Never used these before. Not really sure what I'm getting into, but I did buy the wax foundation. Also, this is an 8-framer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-framer, but it goes in an 8-frame box. Where was I? Oh, so I bought wax foundation, Ross Rounds. I've never used these before, so this will be kind of fun to try and put together while I'm doing other things. Let's see, this and this come out, or just fell out anyway. All right, so let's keep going over there. So, next season, what are we doing? Well, we're going to try out some Ross Rounds, see if we can get some of our girls to produce some comb honey. We did actually get about 3/4 of a gallon of honey. I took 2 frames from one colony, and I have a flow hive, and I took 1 flow frame of honey. And I'll link that video. I'm just going to point at both sides. I think it's here. I'm going to go with here. I'll say it's here. We'll see if I'm wrong. So if I forget to link to any of these videos, just search the YouTube page and find them, because they're all awesome. Because I'm in them, right? So Ross Rounds. The other next thing we're going to do this season that's a little bit scary to me is I have a good friend who has shown a great interest in keeping bees. So I'm going to mentor her. We're going to have a colony. She has a good attitude with this. She wants to catch swarms. She doesn't want to buy any bees. So hopefully we'll catch swarms. And we're going to have one hive here. The first swarm we catch will be here for her. And then she wants to have one at a friend's place elsewhere. So that'll be kind of interesting. I've also volunteered with my beekeeping club. Excuse me while I disrobe. My garage heater is finally heating up the garage. And they sent out a blast email asking for people if anybody would volunteer to mentor. And so I volunteered, which is probably a good thing because they have 100 members, I think, or more, and only 5 people volunteered to mentor. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be mentoring 1 or 2 or 3 other people this year. It's a little scary. As a second-year beekeeper, I have so much to learn. But I found, because I've taught people before, I actually learn more by teaching. So, I mean, it's not like I'm completely inexperienced. Of course, I don't know what the heck I'm doing with these Ross rounds. Oh, hey, all right, that came apart. Cool. Let me set this to the side, try to make my workspace a little better. Move over here. Okay, so mentoring, Ross rounds. Oh, I'm also going to try a different type of swarm trap this year. So I've got the three that I made last year, and I bought this one from Hive Butler. No, not Hive Butler. Beetle Jail. And I'll put a link to them down below. They were selling these, it's like almost a cardboard foldy-uppy swarm trap thing. And I will do a video. I'm going to keep that off the camera right now because I don't know where it is. But I'll do a video of putting that together. And we'll see how easy that is to go. And then we'll keep a small playlist of how that swarm trap works, kind of compared to the others. Very unscientific method, but hey, it'll do. Okay, the next thing. Beer in a garage, like, it just puts you in the mood to be in a garage. By the way, the Datsun is going to move very soon over to the other bay, and in its place is going to be a Factory 5 Racing Type 65 Daytona Coupe kit car. If you want to see that, go check my other YouTube channel, Oak Hollow Garage, linked below. It's not here yet. It should be here in about a month and a half, but man, I'm excited. Okay, so the other thing is, while I was at some conference that I'm going to chat about in a minute, I decided to buy an Epimay hive. If you're not familiar with what that is, I'll try to remember to link the Epimay hives below, but they are kind of it's a different way to house bees. It's kind of a plastic insulated, it's probably not just plastic, it's some special poly thing or whatever, I'm sure. But it's an insulated hive. I got the double 10 frame deeps. It comes with feeders. It's got all these features and stuff, which I will also do a video, an unboxing first impression video of the Epimay hive. But we're going to try that out. So, and down the road, I'm going to get a horizontal hive, and I'm probably going to get maybe a wary hive or whatever. I kind of figure I'll have like a Franken apiary out there. I just want to have all these different ways to keep bees and just play with them. I think they all work in their own way, but I just want to kind of experience different things and share my opinions. So we've got flow hives, which are Langstroth hives, but a special way to extract honey. We've got traditional hives. So next season, we're going to have Epimay hive. We're going to have Ross rounds. The following year, I'm going to have a horizontal hive. And then at some point down the road, we'll have a wary hive as well, or ware hive, I don't know, W-A-R-R-E. And the other thing that I did is, again, while I was at this conference that I'll talk about in a minute, I was informed about a Hives for Heroes program. If you're, it's kind of military vets helping other military vets get into beekeeping. There's a mentorship program. There's also a beginner program. They want you to have 3 years of beekeeping experience to be a mentor. So the end of next year, I'm going to try to upgrade to them and ask to be a mentor to somebody. But in the meantime, I'm just there trying to support and just grow the beekeeping community and help some of our military vets. I'm a 20-year Air Force retiree, and I just think it's important. Some of the things that our vets have gone through can be very traumatic, and sometimes something as simple as beekeeping is just a way to keep going and to be able to just come to terms with some of the things they've had to do and see and experience. But enough about that. Anyway, the conference that I was alluding to, I am not working here. Hive Life. If you haven't heard of it, you ought to. It's put on by Cayman Reynolds. If you haven't heard of Cayman Reynolds, well, shame on you. Cayman Reynolds is Tennessee beekeeper, and he's just awesome. I love Cayman. This is only the second year of Hive Life. The first year, I think they had 200 and some odd people show up, and this year there was 850. And a host of excellent speakers and great content, great vendors, great venue. And it's in a beautiful part of the country. It's in Sphereville, Tennessee. I met so many wonderful people. It's a YouTuber mecca. There was probably 30 YouTubers there. I met a good portion of them, and they're all great people. They all want to share. They all want to help. It's just such a wonderful community, and Hive Life was just such an amazing experience. I will definitely be going back. As long as they have that conference, I will be attending because it's just amazing. All right, so... Okay, so these are actual wax dudes. And I guess you just kind of lay it on like that. And then I'm going to get the holes and the pins lined up. And just press that together like so. All right. There's one done. I'm not going to bore you with all the rest of these put together, or putting them together. It's very exciting watching you do the same thing over and over again, I'm sure. But I like you guys, and I want you to like me. So I'm trying to not give you crappy content that's super boring. By the way, did I mention that I'm getting a cool car? Don't get me wrong, you're cool. So excited about that. All right, well, I think I'm going to wrap up the video. Again, I just wanted to chat with you guys really quick. 5 lessons learned from last season, and the 5 things that we're going to be doing in the 2022 beekeeping season. And I'm super excited, and I hope you guys come along for the ride. I'm going to get up close for this one. Be good. Be well, be safe, be happy. And as always, be mindful of the bees. We need them. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.